What is going on YouTube? But Great Blades here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Spyderco Tenacious. This one is the M4 sprint run that they did. Start with some overall measurements here. So overall size, we're looking at about 7.6 inches. With a about 3.3 inch blade, and we're looking at about 3.2 inches of cutting edge. Do a measurement on the blade stock thickness here. So blade stock thickness, looking at about 120 thousandths, maybe a little bit thicker here. Yeah, about 120 thousandths. And then we'll do a quick measurement on the weight. So weight of this one, looking at about 4.15 ounces. And then we'll do a size comparison between with the Demco 20.5. This one has original goat scales on it. I will link them down below. And then the QSP Penguin as well. So size comparison here. So we are at a little bit of an angle here, but if you look at it, it is longer than both, just by a little bit compared to the 20.5, but you get a little bit more cutting edge here because they have a sharpening choil in the 20.5. The Tenacious does not have one. The QSP Penguin does also have a sharpening choil, and again, the Spyderco does not. So that's one thing to think about, is they didn't really include a sharpening choil on it. And then you do get much more cutting edge for both of them compared to both other knives here. Do a quick size comparison, carry profile. So compared to the 20.5, it is just a little bit thinner than the 20.5. And then compared to the QSP Penguin, it is just a little bit thicker than that. So it won't be terrible to carry in your pocket in terms of that, but something to note is that it is going to be quite a bit taller in terms of thickness this way than either of the other knives here. Just a little bit more so, actually quite a bit more so than the 20.5, and then even more so compared to the QSP Penguin here, if you look at it. So that's something to think about. So if you carry multiple items in your pocket alongside your knife, I usually carry my phone in my pocket. I know for some people that's not what they do. Usually they only have your knife in your pocket, maybe one of their smaller items, but I also usually carry my phone in my front right pocket. I don't usually have an issue with that. With this one, I don't think I did too much, but also that's going to depend on what kind of phone you're carrying and whatever else you might carry in your pocket. But something to note. So this one is the non-serrated one. There was also a serrated version of this. I don't particularly like serrations. I don't really need them for anything that I use my knives for, but they do have a serrated option if that's something that you want. brown G10. I think they call it Coyote Brown G10. It's M4. I guess you would call this this is a flat grind, full flat grind, and then a leaf-shaped blade, which is nice. It's got a lot of belly to it, so good for some slicing tasks. Not so much super pokey out at the tip, but there is a tip there, but definitely slicey. And then it's an M4. M4, of course, not a stainless steel, but it is pretty tough, and it does have you are able to get a pretty good edge on it. This one I could probably sharpen up a little bit because it has been used, but something to note, it's not going to be stainless, so if you live somewhere where corrosion's a big thing, then you might want to reconsider that. Hold on, let me just, some smudges on here, I just want to get off real quick. That looks a bit better. So, it will, have marks on it. If you use it, you'll get some stainage on it, but that doesn't really bother me in particular. If you look, there's kind of a little bit of a spot right there that won't come out. That's okay. It'll still perform just fine, but it will stain, depending where you live and what you're using your knife for. And this is one of Spyderco's few liner locks that I would say I do like. Some of them I just don't like the way they look, or I was just never really a fan of them. But I saw this one and I decided to give it a try. And I do like it. It's a pretty good knife. It's not the same as some of the other knives that I have in terms of it's not fidgety. I could probably loosen it up a little bit, but when I had tried previously, the centering wasn't fantastic when I did that. So that's something, at least on my particular one, I just had to sacrifice a little bit, but that's okay. I don't mind just opening it with my thumb. It doesn't have to be super snappy. That's fine. But that is something that's a little bit different compared to some of the other knives that I usually carry or own. It is reversible carry, so tip up, tip down. It comes with the standard just kind of 3-hole Spyderco clip. With that, of course, if you want a different clip, there are so many other companies that make clips that'll fit for different Spyderco models, RGT, Lynch, etc. So if you don't like the clip, there's almost assuredly someone who makes one that you may prefer. But it is at least carryable for lefties, so you can mount it left hand as well. There is a lanyard barrel. It does go right through the pocket clip, so in this case they're both kind of equally prioritized. It's not something like the smock or anything like that where the clip is, the lanyard hole is more prioritized and they shift the clip down. So this one, in this case, they just put it right through the middle, which I think is a fair compromise. I don't use lanyards at all, ever, but if you do, then there's the option there for you. They also make plugs for these, so if you do want to cover it up, you can do so as well. This one is made in is this? No, so this is one of the Chinese Spydercos. If I can zoom in here, if you can see it, it's real small, but that says China, so it's not one of the Taiwan models like the Smock or some of the like Para 3s and things like that. I think are sometimes made in Taiwan, but this one is one of the Chinese ones. So if that bothers you, something to note. But I think they did a pretty good job on it. There's, like I said, some things like I think maybe the tolerance on it could be a little bit better, just because the action's not what I would prefer, but it's still like there's no problems with it. Like there's no blade play left, right, up and down. There's no lock rock or anything like that. You know, it locks up solid, but it's just you can't really Spidey open it. You know, you can't reverse flick it or forward flick it really. You can get kind of almost there, but it doesn't go all the way. So for this one, I usually just kind of use my thumb and just kind of slow roll it open. But again, that could be different depending on your particular knife, but that's okay. What else is there to say about this? There's really not a whole lot. So I think when I bought this in 2023. Yeah, 2023, I had bought it, and I think it was like $135, something like that. I checked before filming this, and I think now it's up to about $143. So it's gone up $10 in about, you know, plus or minus about a year or so, close to 2 years depending. I think I got it end of 2023 though, so closer to a year. That's not awful. Usually some Spyderco models, especially the really popular ones, will go up quite significantly in, you know, just a couple of years. Like the Smock has gone up, you know, the Shaman has gone up, the Para 3 and PM2, those have both gone up in price, even for the same, like, configuration. But this one actually hasn't been hit that bad. It is also a newer model, though, so, you know, maybe that's to be determined. But this, or I should say newer model, it's a sprint run of a previous model, because they do have the Tenacious in, it might be FRN, but maybe it's G10 as well, and then I think it's like an 8 or 9 CR. They did also release the titanium one, but it's still 8 CR, so they must have that 8 or 9 CR, so they must have a ton of that, because they're still trying to get rid of that. But that was more expensive than this. I think that was like $150 or $160. I'll have to double check that. I'll put the correct price, at least as of when I'm filming this, up here somewhere. I'll check a couple different retailers, but it was more expensive just because it was titanium handles instead of G10 or FRN, whatever the base one used. But still more so than this. I wouldn't buy that. But the M4 one is nice. I think it's a pretty decent price. It's put together pretty well. I did send this out to a buddy. He'll probably be in the comments on this video. I've mentioned him before, McSquirgle. I did send it to him to loan, just for him to check out at one point. And I was having an issue with one of the standoffs. I had taken it apart and oiled it up to kind of get the action a little bit better. And it worked a little bit, but when I was putting it together, just for whatever reason, one of the screws in the standoffs just wasn't fitting properly. And I had told him that I was like, you know, feel free to take it apart. I don't mind. That's okay. You know, if you can fix it, do whatever you got to do. I don't mind it, you know. And he ended up having to he just ended up contacting Spyderco, and he just had them fix it for him. But I think that was probably more just user error than anything. I think I just didn't have it lined up properly, and something wasn't seated right, because now it's fine. But yeah, I think it's a cool knife. I think the price for the M4 variant in particular is fine. It's kind of just a basic liner lock from Spyderco. There's not really a whole lot special going on with it. It's still a cool knife, though. I think, you know, if they made other sprint runs of it, it would be cool, you know, if they could get it dialed in a little bit more. I think that'd be really cool because it is a pretty solid knife. It runs on phosphor bronze. I don't think I mentioned that. And, you know, it's just a nice little liner lock from Spyderco. Not really a whole lot else to say. You know, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll be posting more videos here. Let me know what you think down below and what you think of the Tenacious and some of the other liner lock models that Spyderco has. The Ambitious, I think, is the bigger version of this one, if I'm correct. Just let me know what you guys think. I'm sure Mick Scorgel will be down there in the comments too, so he'll probably talk about it as well and his experience with it. I don't know if he ever made a video with it. This might have been pre him starting and actually using his channel, but you know, if he's interested, I'll send it back to him, but he can do a video on it as well. But that'll be it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.